All right, welcome into the show. Creative Crypto here. I'm back with another video, guys. I know it's been a couple weeks since my last video. I had some things change in my real life job and my work schedule changed, so I'm trying to balance everything out and give some time, to my normal life and then to crypto and then to YouTube content and also being in the Telegram as well. So I'm just trying to balance everything and do my best with it. Now, what has changed since my last video? Well, Pumpfun again has taken over the #1 spot as the Launchpad creator. And why is that? That's because they started to take my advice that I've been sharing on the channel, and that is that you have to think about your community first and reward the people that are making you money on your Launchpad. Because without the people trading the coins and creating the coins on your Launchpad, you don't have anything as a Launchpad. And Pumpfun finally realized that. And what did they do? They actually increased their creator fees. They finally started giving fees to the creator from the LP pools. And the LP pool is the liquidity pool when the coin bonds. Now, it does have a liquidity pool on Pump.fun, but that is part of the bonding curve, and that's a little different than on the actual exchange. So they actually added 30% creator fees. So meaning that every time you trade a coin on PumpSwap or Pump.fun, you're paying 1.25% on fees. Now, 30% of that goes to the creator of the coin, which is how it should have been from the start. Okay, they finally realized this. And look at the popularity that it has done. They have made so much more revenue adding in this higher creator fee than they would have before. And the same thing will happen when they have the airdrop, if they ever have the airdrop. But that's what they need to realize, that you need to think about your community first, and then everything else will follow. Okay, so good job for Pumpfun for doing that. I think the creator fee could be a little higher, but that's decent. That's decent. So basically, the protocol fee is the platform itself. They're getting 0.95%, and the creator's getting 30%. Now, how that works is the wallet that creates the coin, they get fed the fees. This was a coin that really burst onto the scene, and it really was kind of the first of its kind with these streamer coins. These are coins that people create and they start streaming on Pumpfun, because that's what Pumpfun really is trying to merge into, is this streaming style platform like Twitch, like YouTube, like Instagram, something like that, to where people can actually get rewarded even more than you would on those other centralized style streaming platforms. So that's kind of the big vision of Pumpfun, and what's driving that is people creating coins, meme coin, and they create the coin in a theme based on what they are streaming. So this coin was a coin where these two guys just kind of go viral. They do some really stupid stuff, like one of them was running on the field at a baseball game, and then they just try to get into the limelight and just try to get seen. And they have shirts, they have merch and everything. So this thing just burst onto the scene, and it started, at around 100K, went up to, 1.5 million, kind of just got really pumped right there, and exploded to over 55 million. Now it has sold off, partly because that's just how meme coins work, is when they get pumped, people take profit, and probably Alan, the creator of Pumpfun, was pumping this coin, as they like to do, especially with these new streamer coins. Okay, they will pump Solana into coins, and this is just the way they do it, and then they collect their money back on the back end. But the creator of this coin actually didn't dump their bags, which is surprising, because at one point this was well over $200,000. They made a ton of money from this, just in the Solana alone, not just with the Bagwork token. You can see here, if we go over here to this wallet, click on Sol, we're going to sort this by amount. Let's do minimum 1 Solana, and we'll see how much they're making on this. Okay, they deposited right here to make the coin 5 days ago, 2.6 Solana. They made the coin with 2.6 Solana. They bought probably some of the supply, of course, 2 Solana worth. And you can just see, then they withdrew 48, 13, 37, 29. So this is all from the fees that they've created from PumpSwap for this coin. So they have withdrawn about 150 Solana from their fees, which is around $35,000, and they still have 85 Solana in here. So they've made about $55,000 or so just in Solana from fees. And so this is catching on to where people are creating these streamer coins. They're going live on Pumpfun. They're trying to get some views, some people to see their coin. The coins pump while they're on stream, and then as soon as they end the stream, the coins usually die. Okay, so we've seen this. This is the next meta and the next phase of Pumpfun. It started basically just with the animal style coins, your peanuts, your moodings, and, got on the map that way. And then evolved into the AI coins, your goats, your fart coins, and those coins pumped. And then it kind of evolved into the celebrity coins, where everybody was just creating a celebrity coin. Back last year, when the celebrities were all creating their own coins, they weren't getting the 30% creator fees. They were getting 0 fees from the trading volume. They basically had to just dump their own coins to make some money. And that's basically what a lot of them did. And we've seen, the celebrities come and go, pump and dumps. Everybody was making a coin, from celebrity to celebrity. They post on Twitter, whether it was, somebody behind it, managing it for them, basically creating the coin for them. There was a guy doing that. I forget his name, but the guy was famous for basically getting these celebrities to create coins where he would basically do it for them. And all they would have to do is post a Twitter post. He would even pay them to create the coin, and then they could actually dump their own bags. So just crazy stuff, guys. And that has since evolved. Now we are into this streamer meta, where now these creators are just making fees from the trading volume. They don't actually have to dump their own bags. Now, some of them still do, because, everybody wants to make as much money as possible. But we see that this is the new type of meta here. Like all other metas on Pumpfun and meme coins, they have a cycle, they have a shelf life. This will be hot for, who knows, a couple months, maybe for the rest of the year. But eventually it will phase out, it will burn out, and some new meta will take over. Okay, that's the way meme coins work. It's ebb and flow. It's what's hot now. Get in early, make some money, wait for the next phase, wait for the next meta. That's basically what we have here on Solana meme coins. I want to give a quick shout out to Arch from my Telegram. He actually called this Bagwork coin at 242k market cap. So it hit well over 100x. I think almost 200x there on that one from the very start. Okay, so pretty cool stuff, guys, with that. Now, my Telegram has been hit and miss, of course. There's a lot of bad calls in here. There's a lot of scammers that come in, post coins at 10k market cap, saying that there's a community behind this coin. It's from some KOL, and the coin goes up to like 11, 12k, and then it rugs. So you have to watch out for that. And how you can avoid that is you have to look at their caller history. Okay, so here's an example of Archi right here. You click right here, caller profile. It brings it up in SecBot. Okay, and let me actually bring this up in the bigger window. So this is what it looks like here when you bring it up. You'll see the caller here. You'll see their caller level based on, win rate and average gains, number of calls here. Also SecBot points. That's how they kind of calculate, who's the better callers. And then just go through and look at their past calls. What I like to look at is the market cap that they called at, how high the coin reached. Now, sometimes here on SecBot, it will glitch out on some of these P&Ls. It'll show them a lot higher than they actually are. It's gotten better lately. It's not as bad with the glitches, but there is definitely some. Okay, now this one is a huge glitch here, this Aussie Bagwork. This one is about at 2 million right now, I believe. You see a $139 million market cap. You definitely know that's probably a glitch. So what you can do is you can just check the coin, see how high it went, and see if it's actually a real P&L. Now, he's been doing pretty solid here. And what I like to see is, how long do they go in between, making losing calls versus when they hit on a call. And this guy, had 2 losers here, then hit a 2x, then hit a 5x. Now, historically on here, they don't really win more than 3 calls in a row. And so if you notice that, they've made 2 great calls and then the 3rd call comes in, you may want to ignore that and just kind of wait. So it looks like, historically, they've been doing pretty good here and there with these calls, but it's just something to look at and not just blindly follow any call posted. That's what I want to get at, is don't just follow blindly calls posted in the Telegram, because you don't know who they are, you don't know, what they're calling. Always look at their call history first, and it'll kind of help you make a better decision. Now, this other one here, this Aussie Bagwork, this one just pains me because I had bought this in the Telegram. Somebody posted this in my Telegram. Let's try to find it. I think it was actually the same guy, Archi. I think it was actually him as well. So this is what you can do, guys. You can actually just search for the coin name right here Aussie Bagwork, okay, right here. So yeah, he called that too. And I saw this, I'm going, okay. This was when Bagwork was popping off. It's like we get the Australian version, which is basically these Australian guys going out, trying to show their bags, create viral moments and pump the coin. Okay, so I bought in at around, 300K when it was posted. And then Bagwork started dumping. Historically, when a meme coin is created from another meme coin, kind of like a spin-off or like a clone of that coin, which is what Aussie Bagworkers is. It's a spin-off of Bagwork. When the original coin dumps and just sells off, usually these clone ones sell off as well. However, this one was completely different, and I actually sold this coin yesterday at a 50% loss when it was down to around 170K. I basically sold the bottom of this coin, and it pains me when I woke up today and saw this because I went against my own rule. My own rule is when I buy into a meme coin that has viral potential, I don't sell it for at least 2 days, and I sold it about 19 hours too early. And of course, it pumped up to, I want to say 5 million, good Lord, about 4.3 million. Okay, so that would have been about a 20x, 10 to 20x from there. And it just goes to show you guys, you never know sometimes with these coins. And that happens a lot. I'm sure you guys have had that happen plenty of times where you sell too early, you think a coin's dead, and then it just goes on a run. And that is honestly one of the worst feelings that it can be. And I learned a long time ago, and I don't know why I went against my own stuff that I learned. Kind of crazy with meme coins because you'll learn something and then you still just go against what you learned. And it just, I don't know why I did it myself, to be honest, because you feel a lot worse, at least I do anyway, when you sell a coin like this too early and it pumps. Versus if I were to hold my bag and it went to 0, I would have lost 0.2 Solana. But because I sold this too early and took the 50% loss and got 0.1 Solana back, so I saved myself, 0.1 Solana potentially for a rug, I lost out on over 1 to 2 Solana from doing that. And so that's why with these coins, you have to make up your mind from the start. And I'm going to do this now. This is like the turning point for me. Stop going against what you've learned. Stop going against your own trading rules and start doing these things. Because I feel so much more worse today having sold this coin at the bottom and recouping, my 0.1 Solana, thinking that, oh yeah, I'm doing the right thing here. These work coins are already dead and trying to get ahead of the game. When in reality, all I did was cost myself 1 to 2 Solana in doing that. And so that's what something you have to think about with trading meme coins, guys, is, yeah, you want to have a stop loss sometimes. Yeah, you want to try to cut your losses on these coins and you don't want to just get rugged on every coin. But sometimes a coin like this, it has viral potential. It's these guys in Australia trying to do the same thing. It can catch on. Especially with these new streaming options with Pumpfun. They get on a live stream on Pumpfun, all of a sudden the coin starts pumping again. So just something to think about with this new meta. It's something I need to definitely work on myself. Definitely keep in mind that 2-day rule if you buy a new coin, okay? Like this coin, when I bought it, it was 6 minutes old, okay? So he posted this 6 minutes old. So when I saw it, maybe it was a couple hours old, but when you buy a coin like that, that's, super new, 1 to 2 hours old. Most coins, give it 2 days. It might not always work out. You might just feel like you're holding a dead coin and you're just losing your money. But those times where it goes like this Aussie Bagwork, and just pumps on day 1, 19 hours, you're going to be thanking yourself that you did that and you held on to that coin. I definitely am going to firmly do that 2-day rule now. And I was doing it for most coins. And for some reason, for this coin, I thought I could outsmart the market and, sell the coin because the other coin was dumping and I thought, oh, this coin's going to dump too. But here in all, meme coins surprise you. They'll just come out of nowhere and just pump like this. So this is really what Solana has for it, guys. And that's what I want to talk about real quick before I end this video is bullish for Solana. Okay, not only do we have institutions buying up Solana to put in reserves for us, Solana reserves for corporate treasuries and different stuff like that. You see all over the news. People buying up Solana. We have ETFs hitting the market, even staking ETFs, where people can buy a Solana ETF, but it's actually staked Solana. So they're going to earn, that 6% staking every year on their ETF. So it's pretty cool stuff, guys, with Solana here. A lot of institutions buying it up, like I said. And not only that, come over here, DeFi Llama. I want to show you guys proof on this chart that meme coins and Pumpfun itself, I guess, the launch pad, are the reason why Solana, the coin, has been doing so good. Okay, we're up to almost $240 for Solana here. This is total value locked in the entire Solana ecosystem. We see that, they had a good pump back in 2021 when Solana was first made, and then it kind of died off. It kind of flatlined. The total value locked was only 240 million all the way back to 2023. Okay, and the Solana price followed that. Okay, Solana, we see back in 2023, during these times, look at this. Solana was $10 right here. This was December 2022, December 31st, 2022. Solana was about $9. Okay, then 2023 started going up a little bit, still kind of flatlining, $19, $20. This is back in 2023, just right here in DeFi Llama, when the total value locked was very low. Then all of a sudden, towards the end of the year, starting, around January, what happened? Well, Pump.fun launched. Meme coins started launching. And people were creating meme coins, not just on Pumpfun, but just regular meme coins in general, and then listing them on Radium. Now, a lot of those coins were rugs and scams, but over time, the market corrected and people started using Pumpfun more. Pumpfun started getting more popular, and because of that, it's correlated to this total value locked. So because of that, the TVL on Solana started going up, and in direct correlation to the total value locked, the Solana price itself started going up. Okay, we see it hit all the way up to $200. What a run here, guys. Basically from the start of 2023, right here, January 1st, 2023, Solana was about $10. All the way to January of the next year, it went up, 10x to $100 because, the insiders and stuff knew what was cooking in Solana. They knew the game behind this, and it started pumping. Then Pumpfun started getting created, and then it just went crazy. Okay, so it's kind of been hovering in that $200 range for quite some time here. 205 is really the big level for Solana now, and you can see, it's big resistance there. But why has meme coins, especially Pumpfun, pumped Solana so much and risen this total value locked so much? It's because every time a meme coin graduates from the launchpad Pumpfun, before it was to Radium, they graduated to Radium, the liquidity from that coin gets transferred to Radium and it gets burned. Now, if that coin completely rugs, the lowest that liquidity could go is $5,000. You'll notice, look at any dead coin. Look at any dead coin you can find, on Solana. You'll see it all the time. You guys, I'm sure you guys have seen it. Okay, go to any dead coin. Good one, for example. This coin was hot for a few hours. Now, this is the example that goes against what I told you with Aussie Bagwork, where this coin hasn't even hit the 2-day mark and it already rugged. Okay, so sometimes the charts will tell you and give you insight to what this coin's going to do. Okay, we see it started off here. Whenever you see this, it's not usually a good sign when it just pumps and dumps like this. And then it kind of stayed flat and it tried, to recover. Different chart than the Aussie Bagwork coin. Now this one completely has rugged. However, we still have 9.5K in liquidity locked forever. It's burned. It cannot be touched. Nobody can get to this liquidity unless you have coins to sell. And, there's not that many holders left in this coin, about 100 holders here, and they don't have enough to cover this liquidity. 9.5K, this liquidity pool is a combination of part of the fees that get generated get added to the liquidity. When projects decide to burn coins, if they burn coins like this one, they burned, 100 million coins. So that's just basically going to go to the liquidity because nobody can sell those coins, so nobody can tap into this liquidity that is on chain. And you can see, from the holders, there's maybe a couple $100 that is available here, but we have about 5K in liquidity just sitting in this pool from the coin. This is locked on chain. This cannot be tapped into. You cannot go lower than this amount. Okay. Now, how is that benefiting Solana? Because think how many coins are like this that graduate from Pump.fun, get seeded onto, now it's Pump Swap. Their liquidity gets burned. This liquidity will never be touched. It will stay on chain as total value locked in the Solana ecosystem forever. Okay. And think about how many coins that's happening to on chain. It is a lot of coins. Now, granted, not all coins are going to have, 9.5K liquidity because not all coins burn coins. Okay, but the lowest this can go is about 5K. So because of that, this is helping add to the TVL on Solana tremendously. And this is why meme coins are so big for the Solana ecosystem, why Pumpfun is so important for Solana. And it's just because it's basically making Solana deflationary in a way, because it's basically locking up Solana in liquidity pools that cannot be touched and can never be recovered, and burning them. In doing so, it's creating basically a deflationary Solana in a way, because it's not directly burning those coins, but it is indirectly taking those coins off the market. This 20 Solana in this liquidity pool can never be touched. You will never be able to take this off. You will never be able to sell this. This is just locked forever. Think how many thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of meme coins have about 20 Solana locked on chain. Tons, guys. So this is really the secret sauce behind Pumpfun, behind Solana. Right here, I'm giving it to you guys, real alpha on the channel. This is why you guys subscribe to this Creative Crypto channel, for a real alpha that goes behind the scenes that nobody else really knows about. Okay, because I've been in crypto over 8 years. I've seen this. I know what's really going on behind the scenes and how these projects really work and what is the real motivation behind these real protocols, guys. And if you actually think about it, it makes a lot of sense. You can see on-chain data as well proving this. And this is just something to think about, because the more these meme coins get created, the more, they graduate to Pumpfun, the more liquidity gets burned. That's taking Solana's supply off the market and making the Solana price go up. So that's why it's a great thing for Solana. And yeah, guys, it's just a cool thing. And I wanted to share that with you guys, because I know a lot of people probably aren't thinking that in depth about how important meme coins are for the Solana ecosystem and their importance in this market. So something to think about, guys, as well with this. As we see the Solana price today, it's kind of just range bound here. I'm waiting to make my next trade. I actually caught a nice little short here. Caught this short because I just knew it had to correct at some point. I mean, look at this, just straight green candles for basically a week. Okay, so I was able to catch this short here. I actually posted the call, actually traded on Apex Liquid Bot, the last bot I made the video on my channel. And the people that were in that trade group that were following my wallet, they automatically made profit on this short. Okay, now it did get a short squeeze right here. I did think the short squeeze could potentially come here, but it didn't. It just shorted, and then the short squeeze was right here, because a lot of traders probably went short here thinking that it was just going to dump. Got squeezed, because that's what happens in markets. They are very manipulated here. So they squeezed out a lot of shorts, liquidated them, and then it continued short. Okay, so just crazy stuff. You honestly never see this very often. Okay, this doesn't happen too often where you get a red dot here on my indicator. It's usually never gets a short squeeze. Okay, so there was a big liquidations here. I mean, we're talking multi-billions, because a lot of people definitely went short, because historically that has followed through every single time, basically. I'm sure I could find a time where the short squeeze happened again, but it's pretty rare, guys. It's pretty rare. Here's one right here. So this is a short squeeze, but we had the green dot that kind of warned it. It was kind of late a little bit, but very similar. And that's where I think we are right now in this market, guys. We are literally right here. This is following this pattern I showed you guys before. We're kind of back here again, because notice, we had a little short here. We had a huge run up, a little bit of a sell-off right here. Short squeeze, went lower, and then it's going to pump. Okay, so I'm waiting to catch this next pump of about 17%. Okay, that's what I'm waiting for. I don't know when exactly it's going to happen. I'm waiting for the chart to kind of tell me here. We could wait for this first green candle. Even if you longed right here off the very top of this green candle, you're still looking at 10%. Now you have to keep in mind for the drawdown potential of about 7%. So you don't want to have huge leverage. Okay, maybe 10x is safe enough. You don't want to go higher if you're trading off that first green candle. Okay, so I'm going to wait to see how this plays out until I make my next trade in this market. But I do think we're going to start following this again. And I could even just, paste a bar trend here and see how it's going to go. because we're looking like we're getting the curvature up. Once this blue starts curving up, these lines start curving up, we get the green right here, then we're looking good. All right, and that's what I'm going to want to go long on Solana when I see all these indicators on the charts. Okay, of course, it could go against us, but historically, these are high percentage trades doing this type of trading. If you guys want to follow my trades automatically, check out my last video. I'll show you how you can copy trade my leverage trades automatically using the Apex Liquid bot. Okay, there is only one stipulation that you have to do. You have to use my referral link, and you have to direct message me on Telegram telling me you used my referral link. I will verify that, and then I will give you access to the private trade group, which has my wallet address in there and all the instructions on how to copy trade as well. So check that out if you guys want to get involved with that. But other than that, guys, that's just it for this video. Just kind of a market update, kind of an in-depth alpha for you guys here on the channel. I know a lot of people enjoy this type of video where I just kind of give the market updates and the kind of the thoughts and alpha in the market and what I'm looking at as far as trading meme coins go, and just overall in general of Solana and the crypto market. So if you guys like this, please hit a thumbs up, subscribe for more. Let me know in the comments what you think about all this, what you think about this new streaming meta, what you think about Pumpfun, meme coins, Solana price in general. Let me know your thoughts below. I will be interested to hear about it. And until the next time we will talk again, take care and take charge. Creative Crypto out.